people will
saying scary. One man victory. I guess you are seeing billboards everywhere. One man visit for the re-election for George Weah. Does it saying scary?
not at all. And I really hope Liberians understand what the CDC is trying to do, the psychology they're trying to play on us. They are good politicians, by the way. They are horrible at, governing, right? Because they are trying to justify what I believe they will do. They plan to cheat. And by keep repeating this, when it happens, people say, oh, but it will already going to happen. That's nonsense. Or this nonsense about, oh, the opposition is fractured, that will win the first one.
It's not scare tactics.
No,
people taking things into consideration.
It's not scared because somebody's scared, but it's trying to justify. It's subliminal, put in people's mind. Look, in 2017, when President Weah was at his most popular, when he did not have a record to defend. When I would argue the opposition was more fractured, there was President Weah, there was Alexander Cummings, there was Joseph Boyka, there was Chad Bronskin, there was Mills Jones, the list goes on. I mean, credible people that were more fractured. The presidential coalition was at its strongest. It's not as strong today, right? He got 38% in the first round. How 6 years later, he has a record that is a failed record? How does and it comes the opposition now? There are three main candidates. It's just a fact. Any polling you do, there's Cummings, Walker, How you justify, oh, we're going to win in the first round? It's nonsense. It's
problem with the live faction will be the opposition. The government is there saying, let's take advantage. This will fall back for us.
No, it's Liberians don't get fooled by this. Don't be suckered. These guys want to cheat. They are setting the stage for that, and we will keep calling that out, and we'll do everything we can to protect the vote on the day, to get the poll watchers, to make sure we get copies of the tally sheet. So we have a bill of structure that will mirror the elections commission, so we can at every precinct level want to know who won. The Cummings win at this polling station, the Boyka win it, whoever we want the first two, 1, 2, or 3, because it will be 1, 2, or 3.
Would that require some kind of collaboration among?
Yes, we need to collaborate amongst ourselves to make that happen, Maka. No question about it. There have been some attempts to do that now. We need to engage even more. Other political parties have called for us to get together, and we need to do that because it will help to make sure we are all working together to monitor the elections so that the CDC is not allowed to see this election with this stuff, one round victory. They play on the psychology library.
I hope it doesn't scare the CPP.
No, absolutely not, because we know
you say you're in a room, you're Bill Warren, you see one round victory everywhere. Billboards are everywhere. 1,000 reasons to re-elect George Weah.
We're not worried at all. The president has failed, and the Liberian people are feeling it. It's not because we say so. If you ask most Liberians today, are you better off today than you were 6 years ago? Most Liberians will tell you they're worse off today.
When you go to campaign, what do you hear from the people? Alexander Cummings, when you go campaigning, what do you hear from them?
I hear about the hardship Liberians are facing, whether is the stories around the medical system in Liberia, the healthcare system, or the educational system. I hear about the issue around drugs. So I often say in 2017, when I was campaigning, maybe if I went to 10 communities, maybe 3 of those communities will mention the issue of drugs, 2 or 3. Today, if I go to 10 communities, all 10 will mention this issue of drugs in our young people, right? So that's a common thread we hear around the country. Again, all of these reasons are why President we had no way will win first round, and he will lose even if we get to the second round. If the elections are free, fair, and transparent, it's possible he may not even make it to the second round. It may be between the former VP and myself.
Let me just drill you with this, and I guess my colleagues will back me with this. This morning, Maka, I was saying, if there is a second round, you see the CDC and that of the Unity Party. What's your stand on this? Or the CDC and that of the CPP?
So if the CPP and any other party, of course, will support the CPP, right? But the way I answer that question, I had some young people. They came for there was a debate, high school debating contest, and some young people came to see me last night that were in town from the Southeast. And what I said to them, and I said to our young people, when they were planning for that debate, right? they were planning to win the debate. They practiced, and they were coming on the road to win the debate. They weren't coming to the debate to go second to Monterrado, to Lima, to Lofa. They were coming to win the debate. So we're going into this election in 50 days to win the election. And if winning means we go to the second round and win the runoff, that's what will happen. If winning means we win in the first round, that's what happens. But we're not planning to go in to come in second.
Okay.
Right? And I want to say this, put politics aside. I want to say to the Liberian people, listen to my voice. Don't start your journey planning to fail. Don't start planning for plan B. Because if you just think about the psychology of that, if your goal is to win the tournament, what is the football tournament, a debate tournament, or before you play the first game, before you kick the ball, you always say, well, if I come in second, it will be okay. You will come in second, third, fourth. Because now you already got an out. You already settling. So you will not work as hard because, okay, if I come in second, okay. You're telling yourself that in your mind. So the energy to work as hard is human nature. It would diminish, right? In my life experience, I've worked almost 40 years in corporate America and started here in Liberia, is to set goals and to focus on the goal. So when people say, you got a plan B, I say, no, my plan A is my plan B. If you got a plan, no, my plan A. That's what we as a people, forget politics. Right? That's what we need to, that's the kind of aspiration we should have for ourselves. Sometimes in politics, when people run for representative or senator 2-3 times, then people say, oh, Vaseline, I try, let's just give it to him. No, if Vaseline not qualified, I don't care how many times Vaseline try. If you're not qualified, don't let's just give it to him. Right? That's part of the mindset change. We gotta change. We gotta push each other, gentlemen. Compromise is not a bad thing. In politics, you gotta compromise. But with a compromise, I want to call it lowest common denominator. Let's push each other. Let's compromise up here. Let's put a compromise down here. Right? We gotta push each other. We gotta be more demanding. The president do something small, everybody clap. Let the president job. The president gets paid. The legislators get paid. The ministers get paid. We gotta push. We gotta be demanding of. When I become president, I want people to be demanding of me. Don't cut me any slack. That's the job I wanted. So people, we should be demanding of each other. Right? That's the way. Otherwise, our country, you not change. We gotta push each other, right?
Mr. Cummings, I heard you talk about the CDC trying to play on the psyche of the people with this one round picture stuff, but a lot depends on whether the elections are free, fair, and transparent. Now, the referee in this process is the Elections Commission. I want to know your confidence level in the Elections Commission and the process thus far. Have you seen signs that make you believe that there is a possibility that the CDC could manipulate the process? Do you have complete confidence in the David Ethel Brown Lasana-led commission?
My confidence is low, and let me tell you why. The president has the constitutional right to appoint all the commissioners. That's his constitutional right. In other countries, sometimes by law, the president does not, but in our country, he does. But what he should have done, and this is what the former president, Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, did, because you want the appearance of fairness, right? She said, look, there's 7 commissioners. The opposition should nominate 3. So the current chairman today was nominated by the CDC, and she appointed, and there were 2 others. So at least you get the appearance of fairness, some balance, right? This president didn't do it. He appointed all of them, and by extrapolation, by extension, we assume they're all partisan, they're all solutions. That does not give anybody confidence in the integrity of the institution. It may be unfair to the commissioners, it may be right, but a perception, right? I worry about just the general capacity of the institution. I mentioned the intentions, given the fact that they're all appointees of the president. So my confidence is low, and this is why we have to build the capacity, meaning the CPP, and we need to collaborate, to Marcus' point, with other political parties, building capacities to monitor this election. so that it can be free, fair, and transparent. I want to remind the president, it is his obligation constitutionally to make sure that's the case. He has all the appointment powers, which he took advantage of. But it's his responsibility, and let there be no doubt, clarity, to make sure election free, fair, and transparent, and that there's no violence.
No violence.
We are committed to that, but it is the president's responsibility. He controls the police, he controls the military, he appointed all the commissioners, national election. It is his responsibility. It falls on his shoulders. And Liberians should understand that and should demand that he does. The CBP will not participate, contribute anything to do with violence in this country. I want to commit publicly on behalf of the institution.
The fundamental declaration.
The fundamental declaration will adhere to, but ultimately, the ball, football analogy, the ball
Starts with the government.
start with the president and the government. They have the constitutional responsibility to make sure. And we should remember that Liberia started to unravel with 85 elections, right? When apparently Jackson Dua actually won. He was cheated, denied the presidency of our country. I hope the president understands it and doesn't try to do something stupid come October this year.
Great. So we'll make this interactive. Since the campaign August, how is it going now? Most activities, most rather. How is the campaign process?
So it's going well. We're going to start traveling outside.
Your message resonating to the people well?
I believe so. You know, I saw some recent polling actually last night that says our message is resonating. We're kind of moving up. Most Liberians believe we're the most qualified to move the country forward, to fix the economy. So it was exciting to see that. And so we beginning to build momentum. You know, elections are won in the end based on the momentum you have. And so that process is going well. We were a bit slow to getting our billboards up, but now they're popping up everywhere in the country, and more to come, stickers and posters. The VSB, Constance and I would do some events together. We'll do some events separately. We'll divide and conquer. But we'll start our tour of the country in the next few days.
Next few days.
Yes. So since you're talking about campaign, you know, it's about number. Where you have the original two parties that make up the collaborating political parties. Also, auxiliaries come to support the campaign. How much are you doing with auxiliaries? How many of them are around? How many people are they getting? I remember one they called the ABC Movement for Real Change. I don't know whether you remember that. So how much are you doing with it?
Yeah, no, Maka, we are engaging auxiliaries. In fact, yesterday alone, I met with 3 different auxiliaries, and we're engaging in supporting them because they are a major part of how you win elections, as you know. And so we're engaged in supporting them. Look, what I will say is just a fact. We cannot compete with the government financially. And the government is using our money, by the way, right? It's not the party independently raising the money. So we can't try to compete with them. They're throwing money around. I understand they call female candidates for the legislature to give them money. They've allocated, again, these are allegations. So $300,000 to give to, you know, these candidates, et cetera. We don't have that kind of money to compete with them. And I say to Liberians, by the way, it's our money. So you don't eat it. Yeah, because it's our treasury money, that money that should be used to fix the schools, the healthcare system, you know, so on and so forth.
The campaign money.
But it's our money that they use
It's
for
a campaign
for
money.
campaign. And so they should eat it, but when they get into the ballot box, they should vote their conscience. Nobody will audit who they vote for, right?
At the ballot box.
In the ballot box. And this is why I think the CDC and the government, they will be shocked on election day. They will be shocked because Liberians are smarter than they think. They think throwing all the money around the fooling Liberians. Liberians are not stupid.
Let's bring some of the social media gossip before I get the lines. I see that Cummings has been backed by former President Ellen Johnson. So I guess you have heard that. And so forth. Even if you win the presidency, we ordered this government.
So first of all, I would say I welcome support of anybody who wants to support me. It's like it's a bad thing. They make it sound like it's a bad thing if the former president is supporting me. So, and I hope she is, to be honest.
You talk over
I
her.
hope she. Yeah, I talk,
Have you met her throughout this?
yeah, no.
I mean,
Look,
the
I
campaign
talked to her.
process.
I'm sure she talked to the president.
Okay.
I'm sure she talked to the former VP. So, I mean, talking, yes, the answer is yes. And I talked to many other people. So, the former president, no exception. But I will be my own president. I'm my own man.
Okay.
We will look. What I say to people about auditing, right, is that we will let those agencies, they will follow the evidence. It is my job as president to make sure we got the right people in the LACC, in the GSC, in the Library Anti-Corruption Commission, in the General Auditing Commission, in the Public Procurement and Concession.
IA and the rest
All
of
those
it.
stuff, we make sure we got the right people. They got the right resources to do the job, the logistics, everything they need, and then we'll let them do their job. I'm not going to say to them, go and audit Oni Roberts. But if the evidence leads to you, it leads to you. So if the evidence leads, wherever it leads, if it leads back to the Unity Party government, to Mrs. Selly, the former vice president, because you were in that government, it leads to Joe Weir. I'm not going to say go audit Joe Weir, go audit Samuel Twell, go audit. That's not my job. As the president, that's interfering in the process. These people will have the constitutional responsibility, will have the resources, will get the right people, and they will follow the evidence. So whoever it leads to, that's where it leads. We're not going to pick and choose. I'm not going to say go audit Joe Weir. That's not my job. But the evidence leads to him, it leads to him. That's the way. Look, that's the way we should be governing this country. By the way,
Where you get all of your energy from? I'm here watching you. We're going almost an hour now. Ellis Cummings is still on. It's still on.
And I can go another 3 hours. Look, you asked earlier about how I feel in my health. I thank God every day, gentlemen, that my health energy is good. My intellect is still strong. I exercise at least 3 times a week, sometimes more. So the energy is there. Look, the job I'm asking the Liberian people to give me requires energy, requires long hours, requires intensity and focus. That's what I've done all my life. You know, in my corporate jobs, you don't slack. You know, nobody care what you did last year. It's what you're doing this month, what you're doing this quarter, what you're doing this year. When the next year start, forgotten, right? So the energy is there, the enthusiasm there, the intensity is there, and it will be infectious. You know, I tell a tsunami will hit Liberia come January 22nd. When we take over, the energy to move our country forward will be there.
Yes, one last question.
Yeah, before we go to the phone line, Mr. Cummings, I'm concerned to ask about a whole generation of our young people that basically have got no jobs, so they resorted to riding paintings and KKS. You know, they all over the country. I mean, they multiply per day. Mr. Cummings, what is your vision for these people? I mean, every day we see them, it's like all hope is lost. They resort to that. They have accidents. If they can continue riding these bikes or tricycles, that's the end of their lives. They can do anything. They're skilled. That's the only skill they have. What is your vision, your plan for them?
Right. So the first thing I would say is we should acknowledge, and I want to personally acknowledge the important role they play in our economy. We shouldn't take it for granted. They are the primary movers of people, goods, and services in our country because, you know, we don't have public buses, we don't have big, you know, companies doing taxis and all that kind of stuff. So these people, we shouldn't take what they do for granted. And I want to acknowledge that and thank them for the role they play. If those people went on strike one day, it would shut down this economy.
Oh, yeah.
It would shut the economy. So we need to acknowledge that first of all. Second thing I would say is, look, for those that want to do that as a living, it should be okay. They should make a living to support themselves, you know, that kind of stuff. We should not demean it. But for those who want an alternative, who want to do something else, who only doing it because there's nothing else, this is where I talk about, again, growing the economy, creating jobs. I talk about vocational training. See, Pastor, everything I talk about, these things are all interrelated. It's not in isolation. They all impact each other. Right? So understanding the systemic linkages between these things. So for those people, we want to make sure that we're growing the economy, we're creating jobs, whether it's in agriculture, whether it's ecotourism. We talk about a national youth service program. We're designing what that should look like now to give people options, give them choices. Those who want to do it, they should do it. Those who want options, we give them an option. And that's what job creation is high on the list. Private sector led job creation. Again, this is not happening day one, but over time it will happen. Liberians will see a difference, right? Because we know the linkages, and if we do something here, how it affects this piece, how it affects that piece, and how you can reinforce each other or not if you don't have a coherent strategy. So the whole job creation, national youth service program, vocational training, investing in agriculture, tourism, all of that will be give people options to address that issue.
Yes, let's we'll go to the telephone line. And now this thing is not becoming a song. 4th Street, 2nd Street, 18th Street. I guess you're on the ballot box at number 4.
Number 4.
Yes, you're on 4th Street.
Yes,
it's something you have to get used to because Liberians. You're number 5.
Last year, number 4.
You're number 4.
Yeah, we'll move it.
He's a good defense.
You claim me up the ladder, eh?
Okay, so we've also been carried live on SKTV. Thank you so much, Sekou. Thank you so much. I just got a notification. Let's get the telephone lines activated. This is the True Breakfast Show. O'Neil Mackay that are from Vesely live this morning. And we have the face of the CPP. He's number 4 on the ballot box. Yes. Alexander Benedict Cummings live with us this morning. 0777 405017 0770 153 Call. Let's hear from you. Good morning.
Good morning, 2FM. My name is Ali Kiadi and I'm calling from Sinko.
Go ahead. You have a minute.
Thank you. Let me appreciate the next president in studio. You know, what is interesting is that leadership throws on the thought. And then when the leader set the standard, everybody else's follow. And one thing that I listen to Mr. Cummings over and over, you see, he always tells us not to settle for try. It's a Liberian culture that I try. Other countries are not trying, they are getting the job done. So the best leader is passionate and he's intentional about the things he says. The Liberian people to see reason to rally around this man, given the number that they say he doesn't have. And he's going to be the best president for this country.
All right.
So thank you, Mr. Cummings, and we stand by you.
Thank you. Thank you. A minute per call. Good morning. Okay, this person 0770. Good morning.
Good morning, my friend.
You join us where? Hello.
Yeah, I think it's line is really
Please
bad.
don't go to the line. Yes, I'm joining from where? Good morning. This person.
Call from here?
Good morning. Yes, you're live. Go ahead. Go ahead. Good morning. Well, the line, it's not easy on this side. Okay, let's see if we can pick this person on the line. Yes, caller, you there? Go ahead. Okay. Yes, this one right here. Go ahead.
Yes, good morning. My name is Samson Mosire, and I call you for Tupo Road this morning. Yeah, so let me say good morning to the next president, Mr. Alexander Benedict Cummings, and let me say good morning to you, Fesali.
Go to the issue.
So everything Mr. Cummings said is a very reality, and we as young people, we make sure we mobilize and get Mr. Cummings as the next president. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. You don't be afraid to ask those hard questions. That's why we get the lines. But back if you got call from there, you can also pick. Yes.
Yeah, so let me pick this one. Good morning. Good morning, go ahead.
as president, so what do you think is the most challenging for you serving as a president? How would you begin overcoming the
Okay, thank you. Emmett Hammer from Kakata. Good morning.
No, it's not good.
Thank you. Let's pick this call on the line. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. Go ahead.
So my name is Lorenzo Soma. And let me firstly say that, our people have a saying that says when the child will be good, will go from the small guy, right? Now, one thing I think Liberian people need to look at is the track record of Mr. Cummings. If you check his corporate track record, you will know that the name fixer in itself is not just a mere name, because his promotion in the corporate sector came at a very fast pace, which to an extent signals the high performance of this individual. The next thing there is, I think Mr. Cummings is the only person in the top three that has provided the Liberian people with a clear roadmap of how he wants to transform Liberia's economy. Talking about making the private sector the highest employer, the growth of our agriculture sector, and so on and so forth. I think that the Liberian people are wise enough to understand those with the best interest for them at heart. And I think October 10th, when we go to the ballot people, the Liberian people will select the mayor who has a track record of progress, the track record of fixing things, and the man who has provided a clear way of how to redeem and fix this country. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Let's go to the line. The lines are so jamming. 0770-153-265. Good morning. Please be audible.
Yeah, so my name is Thomas Cummings. I come from Albert Cowell.
Okay, Caldwell.
I listen to Mr. Cummings. I've been following, but one thing I just want to say this morning is that Honorable Cummings, I'm going to support you when you to be in the second round. Thank you so much. I always follow you.
All right. If in the second round you put your support, let's pick this call on the line. Good morning. Well, where the activate say again? Yeah, Berkeley Randall. Yeah, you leave for way central. Okay, let's put you through. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning to Maka and then we have said my good morning greetings to and it's not Benin Cummings. This is activate my favorite runner, and I do join you this morning from Shield. The biggest intellectual.
Berkeley, go ahead, man. See you soon. Not coming to see you. See you. Okay, that was a personal issue. Yeah, all of the anyway, so we're gonna take two more calls. We're gonna make this back and forth. This show is is actually interesting. Relay on SKTV, Strong FM, owned by Musa Sherry, also carrying us live. Prime FM, Sky FM, Voice Matter, Truth FM in Saclipie, Nimba County is live with all. Let's pick this caller, then we'll go back to our guests. Good morning.
Morning. Let me do close to all of the colleagues and the next president come October 10th because we are sure of one victory. My name is Bilal V. Sorry, and I join you for Nizo this morning. Basically, I listen to Mr. Cummings. When you listen to Mr. Cummings, if you have lost hope in the past, based on how the team development has massively failed, you're going to regain that trust because from the argument on his discussion, you see politics, see implementation, and we can say to the Liberian people, this is a man who has served in a corporate sector with no turning repetition. So that is to tell you that the pace that he has built from the foundation, and that which will come to the public sector as well. So we are urging you, let us start looking at this flamboyant politics, let us start looking at transportational politics, and not look at progressive politics. And who will bring the progressive leadership and policy to us as people? It is Mr. Cummings. So let's get in the vanguard, let's get in the filter train to ensure that this country is being liberated by a leader who has stood in the vanguard to ensure from the foundation who are still in the background to ensure that Liberia should get the two different development. Mr. Cummings, thank you for always coming. We are with you always, and we're going to encourage people from door to door. Like somebody talking about flyer. I think these are things that we should take into consideration too. The flyer and in some other country we have to.
Okay, that one level job was not.
Just meeting Reverend Lackey from Argument.
Yes, Reverend Lackey.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. I just want to tell Nigeria, our country has so many different conflicts. We have the abilities in people in Nigeria. We should not miss our way this time. Mr. Cummings has done so well. And he affected so many people in Nigeria as well. Right now, if you go on the streets, Coca-Cola, what I want to say is intelligence, advanced experience, the vast possibility when it comes to our country here. Do not relent. Stop picking people because people were able to first round, second round, we can't pick somebody because we love them. We appreciate you, and I want to thank you for coming in this race. God will bless you, and we all bless you. Thank you.
All right. Great. Thank you. I have a call from Aussie, and those, I guess the president is viewing via the Facebook. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Patrick Johnson. I'm calling from Atlanta.
Okay, Patrick, live. Go ahead.
I got a quick question. I got a quick question. I just wanted to know the platform Mr. Cummings ran on 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the same platform he running on 2022? If not, what's the difference? Thank you.
All right. Great. So let's sit back and listen up to Azana Ben in the comments. Yes.
Thank you, guys, and thanks to all the listeners for the questions. Actually, they were mostly compliments, so I want to thank, I think, Aliu, Samsung, Durenzo also good compliment, talked about the focus on private sector-led growth, which is what we're going to do. Bilal, thank you also for your compliment, Melvin. But there were a few questions. One was how I make decisions, information on decision making, and the same person asks about what do I see as the challenges of the presidency. So the way I make decisions, I make it primarily based on facts, on data, right? So I start with the facts. So I don't just vastly come and say, Chief, let's go to XYZ, or what kills most Liberians is cancer. So I would say to vastly, give me the numbers, give me the facts. Is that true, right? Mm-hmm. So I start with facts. Then I get opinions. I listen to lots of people. I ask different points of view, different opinions, experts in the area, people who are impacted or who will be impacted by the decision we make. And that combination of facts, data, different voices, different opinions from different perspectives on the issue, then I make a decision, then I land, and we move forward. I'm also the kind of leader is that none of my decisions, or not all, will be perfect. I would say my history is 8 out of 10 would be the right call. But if it's 1 out of 10 or 2 out of 10 that is wrong, I don't mind adjusting. I would say, oops, we thought this would work. Based on the fact it doesn't work, let's adjust, let's change and move forward. So I'm not the kind of guy that proud and arrogant, we gotta stick with it. I think that's nonsense. If it's not working, we should adjust. But facts, data, opinions and stuff is how we make decisions. I think perhaps what would be the most challenging part of the role is how you filter all of the voices that comes to you as leader. Because everybody wants your attention, everybody wants your ear, everybody has an angle, everybody wants something for themselves or family, all of that stuff. And the ability to manage that, to filter it, to not insult people in the process, I think would be a bit of a challenge, if you will. I mean, the other challenges, the challenges facing Liberia are monumental. They're huge. And so getting the resources to do it, making sure we got the right people, the right teams, making sure we got the right priorities, making sure we're executing against those priorities and we're measuring. Those are all challenges, and we'll manage those. But I think just the demands on the presidency, is something that will be a challenge that we'll have to manage. Ahmed wanted to know when we're getting flyers and brochures to Margibi. This week, Ahmed, you will start seeing flyers and brochures and billboards in Margibi. So look for that. Question about the second round. I think you asked that question earlier.
Yeah.
We answered that one in the second round. But Clean want me to visit.
That's your advice.
And the last one though.
This was a very brilliant question.
On the
very
platform.
brilliant one. It's the same platform 27.
It's very similar, right? Because the reality is a lot of the issues that the country faced in 2017 we're still facing today. What is the educational system? It hasn't really been fixed. The healthcare system hasn't really been fixed. Infrastructure is still poor. I had to go to Ivory Coast to get to my home county, Maryland. So we've made some adjustments. We've refined it. We've got in more details, but the platform is very similar because unfortunately the issues have not all really been addressed.
Okay, so we'll take 6 more calls on the last calling segment. Let's see who can. This person have been calling consistently. This call should be from Sackley, PA, Nima County, because Truth FM is also carrying us live from that end. Good morning.
Good morning,
Morning. Okay, listen to Truth in Nima, right?
These are kind of people who want to lead this country. We have seen the leadership charisma in him, and we can assure you this level of what we are creating in Nima, through the head of the water ability, there are other people that is drawing on board. Nima will surely be delivered to you come on the website. And let me say thank you for appointing one of the finest lawmakers and someone who can make the difference. On the Larry Yoga to serve as a campaign manager, but Nima County, he's someone who can make the difference and will do his ability. We're going to work with him or to see that Nima will be delivered to you. Thank you, and thank you. May the Almighty God bless you, and you are the best president of this republic.
Thank you. All right, let's begin another call on the line. Good morning.
Good morning, you.
Yeah, I'm hearing myself in the background. You have to move from the radio.
I'm sorry, and let me say good morning to the many listeners on the broadcast. My name is Sylvester Sandy Castle, and I'm calling from the Weir Avenue in my GB County. I listened to Cummings. I listened to that contradiction and disappointment in his system. I got two questions for him. Cummings served as Vice President for Global International. How many Liberians did he help when you were serving that position? One. Cummings, at your position on the international level, what did you do to improve the ordinary Liberian life that we can hold it as tangible to make you president of the Royal Liberia?
All right. Thank you. You said two now. He says it entirely. Thank you. Don't be fair enough. I'm around for fun in the morning.
Good morning, my dear brother.
Morning. Please be audible.
Thank you. I will be audible as possible. Good morning to Cummings. Good morning to the ANC people and secretly slash. My name is Amara M. Fofana, a member and the representative candidate of the Liberal People's Party, headed by the distinguished councillor Jawansi Goglu, the Blue Movement for Total Liberia. We seem to have a we all fair. I want to ask you the question before I can make my comment. Robert Cummings, judging from your past performance in 2017, putting all factors constant, in politics, you will dodge.
I want to go to the question. You got 1 minute, though. I'll let you go.
Were you to be in their fourth or fifth place and see Councillor Goglu about the runner-up, that means first or second place, with any other party, who will you support?
Yeah, man. I don't want question. I'm all right, my man. You're killing it, though. Thank you. Let's bring another call on the line. Good morning. Morning. Morning.
Hello?
Yeah, you're live. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Siku Mshiri calling from Lofa County, Onyema.
Lofa County. Great.
winding my heart. I don't know when the Liberian will consider our country above our personality. Why can't we look in the individual what he's able to do, or always looking into relationship? You know, people do not consider their country able to exercise what we call nationalism. You got to look at your country. Don't look at because you connected to somebody. Just listen to the explanation of Honorable Kumi in the studio there. That alone can tell everybody which level of conviction in the entire country. And people always say, oh, we just coming. But let's look at this, right? We all have agreed that for the past years, Nigeria did not do well. But then if a company or an organization is falling, can you go back to those same staff or even the manager that was there because they have past experience? What kind of experience? Falling experience? Are you bringing them back or going in to destroy the entire organization? Or will you go for new things to bring the person on board to be able to build what the other people destroy? You know, we need to think beyond Liberia.
All right.
We should not be following relation or material or things or money or any other thing that will dissuade us from our staff from exercising the rightful democracy in this particular country.
Thank you. Thank you. A call away from Lofa County. This question will be our last caller for today. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for bringing me on. My name is Kotoma King. I'm calling you from the township of Cardwell, District 15. Am I on live?
You're live. Go ahead. You have a minute.
Thank you. I want to say thank you to the political leader, our political leader, Liberia's next president, Mr. Alexander Cummings, for laying the basic. This is what we want to hear, the clear vision and how once intended to transform our country. Mr. Cummings has consistently explained these that today he got the platform again to tell Liberia and Liberians what he's going to be doing in the presidency. Vote number 4. Vote Alex Cummings. Thank you ever so much for the opportunity.
Great. Let's pick this caller. This person consistently texts me and says she's a female, and at least we should have a female via mobile. Good morning, y'all. Last caller. Morning.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Yes, my name is Jared Bronski. I call from Singapore. Good morning, my incoming president. I call him a black president. You see, we always tell like to people, we say we want change, we want change. The only change we see right now is Mr. Cummings. Let's be fair. More like our opponents, they are not giving a clear vision that like great people need. So Mr. Cummings, I say thank you. May God give you more grace. May God give you long life and prosperity to deliver this country in Jesus' name.
All right. Amen. All prayers you say amen to, Ray. So amen to this one. That's not maybe a journalist.
Amen.
Yes,
Amen.
ABC. Let's listen up to you.
Yeah, so I think Zona from Nima said we'll win the county, so we'll claim it. Thank you. And yes, Representative Larry Yonkwe is now our campaign chair for Nima, so we're very happy with that. Question about Coca-Cola, how many people were employed, etc., etc. And I would answer the question because we did employ people, etc. But I think again, this is where we gotta change the way we think. Vasily and O'Neill and Macab. You see, the Coca-Cola company or any company, people are hired and promoted based on merit, based on their performance. And not based on the fact that they're Nigerian, Liberian. This is what I talk about. We don't care about your tribe because you don't choose that. You don't choose your nationality. Coca-Cola is a global company. It wasn't my father's company, right? I mean, it's not any relative company. So I didn't go there and say, I'm going to employ Liberians or I'll employ Ghanaians or Nigerians or global people, right? It's based on merit, based on performance, right? But we did hire Liberians. He just retired. The guy that used to run all of West and Central Africa based on Abidjan was a Liberian guy. Western African is actually a cousin. In the US, when we're based there, we hire Liberians who are still in the US business. And different parts of the system, what we call the system, company and partnering side. So yes, we did hire Liberians, by the way, but we didn't hire them because they were Liberians, because they could do the job. They were qualified. Because to me, it's what's the word? It's you demeaning them. When I just how you become a Liberian, but you're not qualified. So it diminishes your contribution. And I want Liberians to understand that we will have a merit-based government. I don't care you ANC, you CDC, the ANC people will not let me sing it, but that's the truth. Or you CPP or whatever. If you're Liberian,
You're not
you qualify.
qualified. You
Yeah.
qualify.
That's,
You win
that's
the
point.
presidency. Someone from the
that's
CPP
the
not
point.
qualify. You will give them the job.
No, we train them. We find other ways to get them qualified so they can get the job, right? But it can't just be just because you're Liberian and become a Liberian. So we'll do that. But we did hire Liberians, I have to say. We can provide names, some names if you want, right? But these people were qualified. That's the most important point. They earned it not because we're Liberian. I give them jobs. Similarly, in Liberia, when I was, again, just to put context, Liberia is so small in the total scheme of the company globally. It gets lost in the rounding, to be honest, right? Because our country is small, right? But we added a second production line in this country, so we created jobs. Somebody earlier call talked about the investment in women, providing coolers, coaching equipment for them to sell, women entrepreneurs. So very proud of everything we've done, both at Coca-Cola, right? And also what we've done as a family in philanthropy, the scholarships we provide, the donations we made to clinics and hospitals across this country. The list goes on and on. So we're very, very proud of that. Amara from LPP was asking about if I come third, fourth, whatever. I'm not going to come third, fourth, Amara. So that's an academic question, right? We're going to either win all right or we'll be in the second round. And I hope, Amara, that you will support me. We'll get to the second round, whether it's against President Weah or the former Vice President. Sekou, I like his comment about experience. You know, people say, government experience. If government was a solution to Liberia's problem, we have the best country in the world. So experience gotta be relevant to the task. It gotta be relevant to the issues. And we bring the experience we bring is relevant to the challenges facing Liberia, which is to grow the economy and grow the economic pie. So, gentlemen, unless you got final
comments, so
10
o'clock you have to go. Trust me. Any other thing else we haven't touched the campaign? Want to other content anticipate to see others comments coming?
So, with that, I will answer. Let me do my closing remarks.
Yes.
So, as I mentioned earlier, we plan to start to tour the country, and we'll visit many districts, many communities, many villages around Liberia to make our case, to share our vision for our country. And so Liberians begin to see both Councillor Bronsky and myself around the country. We are confident that, we'll make the case and Liberians will support us. But let me conclude by saying the following. This election is consequential, and every election we say that. But, another 6 years of a failing government, I don't know where our country will be. And so I want Liberians to really think hard. Don't look at all the money the government is spending. Don't look at all the propaganda, what people are saying. Look at us who are running, look at our track record, look at our history, look at our experience, and make the right call for our country. And I know Liberians will. And I ask Liberians let's all pray for Liberians to make the right decision. Maybe I'm not that decision. I think I am, but I just want Liberians to make the right call so our country can move forward, because we'll all live with the consequences or benefit of that decision on October 10. But I'm confident Liberians will select Councillor Bronsky and will start the journey of restoring good governance and private sector-led economic growth to our country. So again, thank you.
And before you go, if I don't ask this question, my spirit will not be fair enough. How will Mr. Cummings' government promote the independent media? Journalists are most time in the pocket of politicians.
We will do that. Again, I come back, gentlemen, to growing the economy in the private sector. If the private sector is growing, it is advertising revenue that supports the media around the world. If we have a vibrant private sector, companies creating jobs, growing the economy, they will come and pay you to advertise. They will pay you to come in your program. The advertising is what drives the media, right? The media, the private sector is small, advertising is low, depending on government, right? So that's how we'll this thing I'm talking about, the economy affects everything. We grow the private sector, we create jobs, People advertise, the churches will do well, they will advertise. So it's all about the economy in the private sector. That's how the media will stay independent because they're not dependent on the government, right? People will be able to make a living with all this thing called government. So we'll make sure the media is independent, we're not corrupted, and because it's private sector led, it will be independent of the government, and you guys will be able to make a good living for yourselves and your family, and report failure to the Liberian people.
Great, thank you. It's been wonderful. Look forward to seeing you. We still have more days to campaigning. The voice from Elizabeth Ben in the comments, closing us up on this Monday edition of from the True Breakfast Show. Thanks to all of the online platforms, the radio station for relaying us. Maka Davis, Vesely Subo. My name is O'Neill. In the midst of all, catch your friends. We'll see you on tomorrow. Bye bye.
So, folks, that will do it for the coverage of Mr. Cummings' interview on yeah, so I apologize for that little problem. We normally don't do show this late, but my attention was called, and we decided to bring this live interview to our people. We promise you, as long we know something, you will know it. If it costs us to wake up late to make sure to bring you the information, we'll do it. Like I said, we normally don't do show at this time, but it is fair enough. It is fair enough to talk about some of the things that we just heard from Mr. Cummings. Something we have said on our platform, and Mr. Cummings highlighted it tonight or this morning. The issue of government spending the people's money to campaign to them. The current Liberian government, they are lavishing the money, spending money loosely, simply because it's not their money. So they are using the Liberian people money to campaign to the Liberian people. They are not campaigning based on their record. They are not campaigning based on anything that they can point to in terms of improving the life of the Liberian people. Secondly, Mr. Cummings says something very, very important when it comes to who to employ, who to give job to. These things are very, very important. He said he's not going to appoint anybody simply because he knows you, or simply because you belong to his party, or simply because you were in a former government. He said people will be appointed, people will be given job based on qualification and competency. And when they asked him, what about CPP supporters that are not qualified? Will you give them job? He said, we'll provide training for them. Make them qualify and give them job. That is a big deal. You know why many CDCs are disenchanted? You know why there are a lot of loose CDCs all over the place? Because the current government, they didn't do what Cummings just talked about. There are a lot of young people that really suffer for the CDC. Not only that, they didn't get a job, but they were left to suffer. Most of them were left to become drug addicts. Most of them were left to languish on the street with no control. Unfortunately, most of them became what we call Zogos. Unfortunately. If Cummings can say, it doesn't matter who you are, whether you are Seditian, United Party person, or any other party, but if you are qualified to do the job, that they will give you job, that means a lot. That means a lot. I believe that will earn him a lot of vote. A lot of people who feel they are not from Unity Party, I mean, from the CPP, but yet they belong to a different party, they will have hope. Let's say if their party does not make it to the second round, they will definitely vote for Cummings, because Cummings is saying, you don't have to come from a party to get a job. As long as you are qualified, you are a Liberian, we will give you a job. And based on your performance, you'll be promoted. You'll get good money. You'll get good salary. And beyond that, he is saying that Liberians don't have to depend on government for job. He said the reason why the government become the major or the largest employer in the country is because of the government inability to create or to invest in private sectors or to create private sector job. I think the interview was great. And one of the important aspects of this interview was the callers. Almost everybody that called, they were all compliments. Compliments upon compliments. Only two people that were political a little bit, but they were not abusive, they were not disrespectful. They asked the right question. And the reason why they went the other way was because they have candidates. One guy who is a Seditian, and my brother Amara Mfufana that I know, who is supporting Councillor Tiawan Gonglo, he is also a representative candidate. Good luck to him. He is saying that if Mr. Cummings go fifth or third, where Tiawan Gonglo will be come first or second. I'm not sure about where he's getting that data from, but that does not actually represent the reality. I'm just being honest. But whatever the case be, everybody reserves the right to support whoever they want to support. But I think it was a great interview. We decided to carry it live for some of you to be able to follow it, listen to it. So at least, you can have something to talk about, to think about. Some of you, in fact, some of you that support Mr. Cummings, every time you listen to him, it kind of rejuvenates your confidence, your hope for Liberia, or better Liberia. Even if you don't support him, SKTV is for everybody. So by giving you the opportunity to listen to him, maybe you can change your mind. Or maybe some of you who have some problem with him, maybe through some of the questions you're going to answer can solve your problem. So this was very, very great interview. And hat off to Una Roberts and the entire team of Truth FM. We have a partnership with Truth FM. So with something going on Truth FM, we will try our best to sell it to the world. And Truth FM is doing similar thing for us. Every time we come on, they share our platform on their network. And Truth FM is one of the, if not the biggest, radio station in Liberia that covers the entire country. Luckily, we have partnership with Truth FM. So because of that, you also benefit that every time you call on here to say something, people are listening to you in the whole country. Let's say in the whole world. Because Facebook, YouTube, Instagram are covered worldwide, the entire universe. And if you're in Liberia, that's a plus. People listen to us throughout the country. People listen to us in Guinea, some part of Guinea. People listen to us in some part of Africa Coast and the entire Southeast. So kudos to the Truth FM for making that possible. Once again, this was just an attempt to keep you posted, to keep you abreast of what is going on in our country. And we'll be here later on today at 11 a.m. My time here right now is 3:11, 11 minutes after 3 in the morning in Phoenix, Arizona. Need to go get some sleep. So that when I come on, when I look too sleepy this morning. But yes, it was great having all of you here. I want to say thank you to you. And we really appreciate your support. Yeah, good morning to all of you, my good people. I really appreciate some of you. Imagine when we wake up, you're up. I love you guys, man. No matter what happens, you're always available. I'm looking at over 600 people up this late. But the thing is, all our viewership, they are not in Liberia, in America. So a lot of people watching from Asia. Some people can watch from India, from Liberia and other part of the world this late. We have over 600 people watching on YouTube, on Instagram, and everywhere else. This means a lot to me. It means a lot. Because let's say we come on now to say we bring in the interview of Mr. Cummings to the world. Then you have only 10 people or 5 people watching. I'm looking at SKTV. I'm not sure how many people watching on SKTV Live. I'm not sure how many people watching on YouTube and Instagram. We have SKTV, we have SKTV Live, we have Instagram, we have YouTube. Those are the 4 major platforms we are on. But everybody that are here watching us, believe me, we appreciate you. We'll see you later. All right? No music in the morning, it's late. Let's go get some sleep. All right? We'll see you in the morning. We have a lot of information to share with you. Trust me. But we just wanted to talk a little bit about what we heard from Mr. Cummings. I think it was a great interview.